Assalamu alaikum everyone. It's Hajra and you are watching my podcast from my standpoint. Today I'm broadcasting a very special episode named Palestine Bleeds. And today we have Muhammad Rajab, a Palestinian student who is currently residing in Palestine, as a guest. And Muhammad Rajab will be putting light to the problems an average Palestinian face from birth to the death in general, and he'll also highlight the problems Palestinians are facing, particularly in current situation. So my first question to Rajab is that how do you think is the life of an average Palestinian different from that of the citizens of other countries? I mean, how is your lifestyle, your routine, your days and nights different from the people of other countries or the people around the world?
In fact, we all wake up in the morning to do our work, go to our schools and universities, use our social media, and keep up with the news. But the difference between us and others is the difficulties, suffering, and obstacles that Palestinians face when carrying out these activities. The suffering of Palestinians differs according to the region in which they live. The biggest daily struggle Palestinians face is mobility from one place to another. The movement of Palestinians is restricted, and sometimes they can only reach their homes by standing for hours at Israeli military checkpoints. And there are areas where the occupation prevents the entry of Palestinian cars only, so Palestinians transport their goods on foot. In short, every village, camp, and city are besieged and closed by the Israeli occupation. Even within the same city, there are checkpoints. For example, there are people 300 meters away from me. When they go to the mosque or the store, they have to pass through the checkpoints. And also, most Palestinians doesn't have access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Gaza Strip is the most besieged area, as it's forbidden to bring any equipment or things into it, and most of the time there is no electricity. Attacks on Palestinians are a daily routine by the settlers and the Israeli army.
Okay, so my second question is that you people have been the victim of Israel's operation for quite a long time. So, what's your motivation to stay strong and firm despite all this? I mean, what keeps you going?
This Jewish Zionist entity was built on injustice, and the injustice doesn't last. There must be a day when this occupation ends. As Muslims, we believe that Allah is with us. We believe that the Al-Aqsa Mosque and its surrounding is a holy place for Muslims, and Palestine is a holy land that God blessed, and it is right for Arabs and Muslims. And we believe that its liberation from the occupation will be very, very soon, and no Jews will remain in Palestine, and this occupation will disappear. It's a religious duty for all Muslims to defend their sanctities and give their lives for the sake of receiving Al-Aqsa.
Now tell me, if there are any places in Palestine where Jews and Muslims are living peacefully together, as neighbors, as brothers, do some Jews and Muslims in some places share any friendly ties? Also tell me, what do you think are the major fears of Jews regarding Muslims?
The relationship between the Palestinians, whether they are Muslims or Christians, and the Jews is a commercial relationship only. Also, some Palestinians work in the occupied Palestinian territories under the supervision of Israeli companies due to the difficult economic conditions in Palestine and the lack of the job opportunities. There are no friendly and loving relations between Palestinians and Jews anywhere. The Jews occupied our land and attacked the Arabs. The whole world witnessed the attacks of the occupation armies and settlers on the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood, driving the Arabs out of their homes, burning their cars, and destroying their shops. However, there is a group of Jews protesting the attacks against Palestinian Arabs, but they are very, very, very few. Uh, as for the most important fears of the Jews for Palestine, it's their inability to obliterate the Palestinian identity and their inability to remove the sense of patriotism from the souls of the Palestinians, which constitutes a permanent danger to them that removes their occupation.
Okay, Muhammad, tell me, uh, are the Muslims in Palestine allowed to keep an opinion and express that? Do they have enough freedom there?
It's unfortunate to say that not only is there no freedom of expression, but also there is no freedom to know why you are in prison. What many Palestinians suffer is administrative detention for 6 months without a known charge, and administrative detention is usually renewed. Freedom of opinion under occupation doesn't exist. And if you talk about a party or movement resisting the occupation, you will find yourself behind the bars of the occupation and you will be accused of terrorism.
How do you see the current situation of Palestine? Would you label it as terrorism or conflict?
We're talking here about a real terrorism called Israel. It isn't a conflict between two states. It's a struggle between a supported occupation and continuing the illegal occupation of the people of Palestine. The Israeli occupation has killed hundreds of thousands of Palestinian children, women, elderly, and youth, and forced them to flee their lands for the purpose of ethnic cleansing. Since its occupation of Palestine, Israel has demolished hundreds of Palestinian villages. Israel has bombed Gaza with thousands of rockets and has used internationally banned chemicals such as white phosphorus. Israel doesn't respect the human rights to life, livelihoods, and expression of opinion. It arrests thousands of Palestinians in prisons and humiliates and tortures them. Israel doesn't respect religions and places of worship. And this is what the world saw. How it made Al-Aqsa Mosque a battlefield and firebombed inside it. Israel tried to kill dozens of worshippers while they were praying for no reason. This isn't a conflict, but a violation of the Palestinians and theft of the land of the Palestine. And in fact, we need volumes to describe the Israelis' crimes against the Palestinian people.
Okay, Muhammad, how do you and other Palestinians see the response of Muslim world towards the Jerusalem issue, or maybe the ongoing problems or the terrorism, as we call it, from Israel over the Palestinians?
Uh, the response of most Arab and Islamic governments so far has been disappointing and didn't really show any support. But some Arab and Islamic peoples and even some European peoples and many regions of the world have shown through demonstrations in the street and via social media their support for the Palestinian cause and their condemnations of war crimes committed by the Zionist entity. We know very well that the demonstrations will not liberate Palestine and that the main support must be with military and money, but it's an expression of an important moral position and support that must be provided to Palestinian heroes who defend the honors and sanctities of the Islamic nation.
Okay, so many debates are going on around the world regarding the Palestine Israel issue. But I don't think any one of us could empathize with you people because only you know what you people are actually going through. So I would like to ask you that, in your opinion, what's the permanent, effective, and a durable solution to this conflict, to this problem, to this terrorism? What's your opinion on this?
As I have already said, this isn't a struggle and negotiation over a specific region or topic. If someone occupies my house, it's stupid and wrong for it to be negotiation and struggle in order to put the sofa in the kitchen instead of the living room. The solution is to return my house to me and get out of it. This is our situation in Palestine. The solution in this issue is to return all Palestinian lands to the Palestinians and end the occupation.
Okay, so Mohammed, I've got a considerable following, and I have got your message shared with many people and at many platforms. So right now, many Pakistanis and in fact many people from other countries might be listening to you. So what message would you want to convey to the world on behalf of your Palestinian brothers? What is the message an average Palestinian wants to give to the world, especially the Muslim brothers?
As a Palestinian people, we want to remind Muslims that liberating Al-Aqsa Mosque, supporting your Palestinian brothers and saving them is duty for every Muslim, not just Palestinians and Arabs. So don't be slow in supporting your brothers with all your strength. And a message to the whole world to have a conscience to support Palestine and stand for truth. Every person with a conscience will mourn the hundreds of Palestinians who were killed in Gaza by the criminal occupation. And a message for those who describe themselves as champions of rights and freedoms. I tell them, if you really are, let's see your achievements in supporting the Palestinian cause and striving to end the Israeli occupation.